evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the IHSEA Overwatch Spring Invitational third place game. Tonight, we will have the Springfield Capitals versus the Glenwood Titans. I am Coach Turp from Naperville North, and joining me tonight, a blast from the past. Please say hello, Mr. Can.
What's going on, guys? Like Turp said, I am Mr. Can, also known as Tormy. I'm excited to be casting Overwatch again. It has been a long time since I've done that.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you coming in tonight. I was planning on flying solo. It was a good surprise to get. So I know the teams are chomping at the bit here, so I'm going to post that the stream is ready, and we're going to check out our teams. So tonight's matchup, we're going to start off on Junkertown, which is an escort map for us. We're going to be playing a best of 5. So don't worry about the math. A lot of people like to say first to 3 wins, right? That is one way of doing it, yes. But we'll worry about the math once we get there. Glenwood says they're ready. And we'll see as soon as Springfield gives us an R.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this map. This is a fun map, especially I feel like these payload maps can get really frustrating. It feels like there are points where it's like, yep, this is definitely for the attacker. Yep, this is definitely for the defender. But I feel like there's always a way to crack it, right? There's always an answer to the solution at any point in this map. So I do really like Junkertown.
Yeah, there's a lot of counterplay that can become involved. Point A is it's our Lego Cat, right? That's our second ready, so we're going to roll this up. Talking about the points, point A is the wide open air one, so a little bit more backside poke you can have from a Doomfist or any sort of sniping abilities can come out. You can see, especially Echo, I would imagine with these varsity players skill-wise that Echo is definitely going to be a thing. I don't know about first coming out of the gate here. Let's see what Springfield decides to come out on defense, and Glenwood will be on attack. Saw on the JV matchup earlier today, we saw some pirate ship. Let's see if we have the same thing. We got pretty much regular meta here for Springfield. Gonna switch it over to the Hog. Glenwood kind of trying to figure things out here.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Got 2 haven't picked, but we'll see. Double sniper. Okay. Let's see if they lock that in.
Yeah, usually if you want to go double sniper, like here from the beginning, you're either going to use the Hanzo for the sonic arrow and get a better idea, or you're going to look for those really early picks onto the supports to get a lot of early pressure down, because that is a long walk from spawn for the defenders.
Yes, it is. So Bubba's probably going to be looking to do some sort of split with that ice wall. Not very effective on point A simply because of how side it is. But yeah, they are going to go double sniper between Ghost and Cobalt here. And
Not a
boost on that Ghost.
I'm not a huge fan of what the attackers are doing right now. You've got 4 on cart, and then Mercy is really, you've got 1 healer trying to keep 3 people alive. It gets to be difficult, but Ghost does get a pick there. Wow, Ghost gets 3 picks right there. Allows Rat to res, and we're starting to see a lot of push right here. This is Glenwood who's red, correct?
So yes, Glenwood is red and Springfield is blue. Springfield's got to fall back, see if they do a last second contest wave. I believe they'll have enough time to get their team in position. They're going to come up north, up top. Big sleep coming down. 3, 2, 1. They do contest in time, but without paying. Trade there, Pyro Cat. Bubba goes down.
I thought that was a really interesting contest because it was staggered as they were coming out. Allowed the pin and things like that, but Glenwood's having a really hard time actually picking them off, but they do end up getting that point A though.
And they do. Ghost was just applying damage, if not getting kills, which he did near the end there, but just applying damage in the back, being uncontested. No challenge to that, and you're just going to be able to rain all sorts of damage, and it's real hard to heal through that, obviously. And Ghost is going to keep it up with that Mercy boost she's receiving.
Cobalt's really aggressive on this Hanzo here. Getting a lot of early damage down. Getting information as well. Pretty mobile.
We look at our ultimates. Pretty even for both sides. Big anti there. More person anti that brings out the immortality. Comes down. Hammer comes down with 3 person slam. Pyro goes down. Lego goes down. They back themselves in the corner. Moth drops. Bubba goes. Glenwood moving this cart non-stop. And they will take point B.
I think something that this illustrates here is like you have to really be solid on this defense and put yourself in a position that you don't kind of get caught out, trickled like Springfield was right there. Glenwood did a really good job after the hammer strike to really isolate targets and continue the pressure there.
And one thing that Cobalt's able to do here is he's being able to pull some of that pressure off of Ghost. They're kind of working in combination. It's like they try to neutralize one sniper and then they have to deal with the second one. So here comes the dragon. Ghost does take out Moth.
But we do see the blizzard come out over top. They get Ghost out of it, but that's it.
High Noon, does this get anybody? Pyro does not.
Ghost gets rescued. They are falling back.
Oh, there they go. A little damage when that fire strike comes through. Ghost sticks no sign on Bubba goes down. Springfield's gonna have to go back around the corner.
I like your point. Oh, there comes the Earth Shatter there. And I think this is going to create enough space. The one's on the card right now. This will create enough space for them to basically, they can win one more fight. They'll have this wrapped up.
One final contest. Yep.
I like
Dragon is going to come into play here on the split. Try to keep him off the card. See if he applies it. Cobalt gets Pyro on an early pick. There's the Dragon comes out.
I think actually Cobalt could have waited a little bit longer to make Springfield commit and get a little bit more value out of that Dragon Strike there. I think it was a little early.
I agree. Now we're back to stall. Cobalt, big pick on Pyro. That's a lot of their DPS gone. Victus gets grabbed and nanoed. He's going to go in hard now. Cobalt gets Bubba.
I think the biggest thing when you run double sniper is you're really kind of putting on the table, like, we believe that we have better aim than you. And if you have no way to really answer that with a sniper of your own or answer with the utility of another DPS, it's really oppressive. Your supports can't be as active in healing and being with the tanks because they're always in danger.
One of the big things that I've been seeing here is those antis coming out of Spartan are on point, causing stopping a lot of healing from coming down. They do get them off the point. They're able to push it through with 3 minutes left to go.
I will give Springfield some credit. That last defense right there before point 3, they did stall out a lot longer than they did at other points, but it was a little too late at that point.
Yeah, they started to find their footing just unfortunately when their backs are against the wall. So as we move on now, Springfield has to match this. They want to try to finish this map with time left so that they have at least an opportunity for a win. We'll see what they decide to mount here. Again, they're going to need a quick point A and point B. Again, A is one of those ones you either get it in one fell swoop or it can drag out the entire time. I want to say last time I saw a match on this, everything was stalled out on A. Neither team was able to get it all the way. So it kind of comes and goes for this kind of thing. So let's see if we have Ghost coming out with, this is, I don't know how much you've been paying attention to meta, but Torb has definitely found his way back into it. So, yes, they are going to set up the crossfire with, let's see where he ends up putting it.
I almost
Probably on
think
the opposing house, yep.
I really wouldn't hate to see Springfield run Pirate Ship here, because Pirate Ship does seem to be like, if you're playing for time, and you want to get that fast first push, it feels like Pirate Ship is the most consistent if your team has practiced it. But they're
There's some, yeah. It really depends. Earlier today we saw a different Pirate Ship where they on the actual card, they were using the cart as cover, so they would set up Bastion behind it, getting a little cover for the cart, being able to move it, and then he would just D-Mac and Remac moving up as the cart moves. So it worked out pretty good. They do take out the turret on the side. So let's see where this all comes in. It really depends on his ultimate. Has got a big buff now. So Pirate Cat goes down early. Ghost does get the pick. Get the early res.
Ghost almost died there.
That's a big loss. for the defense. Big anti, 4 or 5 person anti, but to no avail. They don't get anything. Bubba takes out Spartan.
Oh, huge
Slam on the hammer. That is going to win them point A.
I think it's odd
Bubba's just going to go. Bubba's going to go in there and just cause all sorts of headache. Yep, they're going to have to fall back and give up A. They cannot contest this. And there we go. So very quick A. 5.5 minutes. Now we'll move on to B. I expect a very close matchup tonight. I believe this is totally one-sided by any means. In earlier matchups, I've seen Springfield win. I've seen Glenwood win maps. So these two teams know each other very well. So that's why I was very excited, even being a third-place match. We're happy to bring you the. I think we're going to see more than 3 maps tonight.
See the Mercy ultimate come out from Glenwood. Trying to hold this corner and match the Springfield one. Tainu comes out.
So many beams, but in the end, it looks like Springfield is going to push through the shield. The shield war goes their way. We had Mercy things, we had hooks and pulls and beams galore.
I really think for the second point here, when you're looking at finding a strategy in Overwatch, how do you push this, how do you push that, I feel like this second point on Junkertown is one where your team really needs to be on the same page, because there are so many different angles that the fight can take, and different strategies that can be run, that you really need all 6 people on the same page. It kind of looked like Glenwood just kind of fell apart after the Genji ult came out and it couldn't really recover.
Yep.
See Winston coming out now from Pandemonium. That'll be interesting. Going to clear the high ground up here.
Yep, looking for a little counter to the high ground, trying to get Bubba off of it. To get stunned out of it, we do get a Rhine. Nano that comes in. I think this does get Dynex and Glass. Lego goes down, as does Pyro. So we see a standout defense.
I think if Glenwood can hold this, obviously they have 5 minutes, is a long time. The cancel of Xionex's ultimate, the Earth Shatter, and then the counter Earth Shatter by Invictus will be huge. That'll be something that you'll look at. That, you know, if things had gone differently, if Zion's ultimate had come out, I mean, they're that much closer to finishing.
I agree. I think Bubba, when he gets his blade, is going to be interesting. But Cobalt, he's going to pop it now. Pyro does get Pandemonium. Dragon comes out, but the Coalition saves him through that. Bubba's almost got his blade. They're going to have to fall back.
See them aggressively pushing around the corner here, Springfield, but credit to Glenwood, stay alive. Health bars are pretty high up. Cobalt does have his ultimate.
Here it comes. Blade to the back, gets Cobalt. Gets Goats. And Lightning takes out Invictus. So, can they get back in time to contest? I don't think so. He's hands too. He's definitely staggered enough.
Yeah, we do have Monkey.
There we go. There we go. He popped that just in time. Awesome. High Noon on the other side comes out. Does get Cobalt.
I do think this is something where I kind of question the switch to Winston there, because if you look at your team comp here, I mean your Reinhardt there is very stagnant. As we see them now go to Hamster trying to clear it up.
Full on call at this point. They know that this is going to be a critical effect. 3.5 minutes left. We're going to go another round. All right.
Yeah, I'm really questioning. I know you wanted to deal with the Genji, but your Reinhardt Winston doesn't necessarily work well together, in the sense that you have one tank wanting to go in and another tank who's kind of trying to hold that line, so it becomes difficult for them to play with each other.
Yeah, Ryan Winston is not a common combination you see for our tank line. Winston Ball, if you're looking for that mobility part, Winston Orisa, Ryan Orisa, Ryan Zarya, that kind of stuff. But yeah, putting the two together, I agree. You got to stagnate the movement. It really depends on what your goal is. I think again you were trying to contest that high ground, which is why they picked the Winston. But if that's all you were trying to neutralize, they didn't really have snipers. You're just trying to get Bubba off of that. I don't think he can do a ton of damage from up above that it was worth possibly this switch. But as we get ready to reset the map, so because Springfield finished with more time, they're going to be on defense to start it off. So Glenwood will have 2 minutes. We reset that to 2 minutes now to take as many points as they can get. However, remember that taking a point does not add time when you get into this second round. So, or is it 30 seconds? I'm trying to remember. We'll find out if they take A.
I think it's 30.
It's not the regular amount that gets added.
No.
I know it's reduced.
No, yeah,
So-
I think it's the 30 seconds. I think
Okay,
that might be it, but we'll see, I suppose.
If they get A, yeah, right now I totally forgot to jinx this, and no one's getting A. It'll be a distance score, so that's our.
We see Glenwood coming out. Interestingly enough, with the Brigette here, looks like really want to kind of scrum here on the actual point. I do like that.
Yep. So Zynex takes out Cobalt. Cobalt I thought was an interesting pick, trying to get some splash damage in. And a tire really, you can build that up. Can win you this A point. Let's see, he's only at 8% now. So being dead. A lot of damage.
I think
They're
that was
really
generally the thought here, you know, with the Ash and her dynamite, with the Bob, and then the splash damage.
Everybody's laying on the job. That was a heck of a slam there by Zynex.
Yeah, so we see the Brigette actually ult. Curious if Spartan's going to switch off of her, because if he doesn't, I think that was a little bit of a waste of an ult, because you can actually use it to kind of taxi people in and fight more on this point where it really didn't serve a purpose right there.
We go high ground.
Again,
Winston was going there. All right.
I think he tried to hit the top of that roof and slide to the other side, but the problem is that your team, and this kind of goes back to the problem that we were talking about before with Winston Ryan, is that, like, Winston's going in, but your team is still slow. Here comes Bob.
Getting right out, you know. Bubba's got to clean up on the backside as he tends up. Yep, he displaced shield, so Pyro can get his high noon off. And they buffed everything on that defense, though. But that makes sense because there's only 12 seconds left.
Yeah, I think that's a really...
Oh, well, no, that could be a problem.
They have to get to the point. You have 4 seconds.
Trying to stop them to get there. I believe they'll make it. They do. Oh, another slam.
Oh, good slam out.
Always be the second one to go. Unfortunately, he's also falling around you. This is all pure caster curse coming in, because we're not going to find out. Because at this point, it will not matter what they get to.
They're just trying to get just a couple more meters.
Anything they can get. Bubba's just cleaning up house here. Oh, we get the stun. Well,
I think
both heals are out, and we got spawn advantage for the attackers.
Yeah.
So with double losses by Springfield, this is still going to move. But they will recontest, I have a feeling, before A hits. The ball is going to keep swinging around trying to stop them from coming in, but they do
doesn't get the
recontest this
knockback,
time.
though. That's unfortunate. Oh, here comes
Here comes the
Tire.
tire. This could be huge on the backside.
He opts to only get one. Yeah. I think that was a little bit of a misplay there.
But, again, Springfield's down 2. As this goes, the longer this goes, it goes to the attack. But, yeah. Oh, heck of a stick. Good stick there by Ghost. That's going to win them point A. But they have to stay on the payload because there's no time added, folks.
Yeah.
So there we go. There's that solved out. They've hit 0. No time gets added. They're going to take this as long as they can. So that's a big take on point A. We really thought that was going to get stalled out there.
Well, and I think, too, that, like, now we're at the point where the running back for the defenders is still really long, so you actually get a lot of extra space here. And if you're the defenders, I mean, you're going to give up a couple meters to make sure that you have a very unified defense here. Great flame strike there by Zynex. Looks like they're going to want to drop down.
Bubba's going to build his up. He's going to try to combo that. Drums are coming out. Yeah, they're there on the high ground. Lego takes out Rash. Big loss to the attackers.
All right, we're trading Earth Shatters.
Do they get Zynex? They do. Moth goes down, but Bubba and Pyro take it.
Yeah, it looked like they're in the tank v tank battle. Glenwood was winning, but you add in the DPS and Springfield kind of won that out there. Though they are kind of stalling on the point here. That should be about it.
Do it. Yep, there goes the overtime. Quick countdown. So about 3 force way we'll say to point B, where the point to reach is.
Score
So we know our win condition
to 4.
for Springfield. As you can see, this is I believe, like I said before, I think it's an evenly matched up kind of thing. We don't see one side clearly dominating the other, so excited to bring you tonight.
I think it's this entire series, not just this map. I think this entire series is going to really kind of boil down to these small kind of micro decisions that these players make, because you kind of line up the two teams together. They have very similar kind of like brawl it out strategy, so you're not kind of seeing like a difference there. It's just really kind of those micro decisions, whether you change from one hero to another, or do you get caught out of position.
Slam first. Ultimates and stuff like that. Yes, everything, it becomes so much more minute when skill levels are close that other things are what determine it. So looking at it, we are having a double shield, so I don't know if they'll put Bubba on the points or if they won't. We'll find out from Springfield what they got going there. But Ghost and Cobalt are going to have to wreak some havoc if they're going to get Bubba off his bastards.
I am a little bit sad that we didn't get to see the Zenyatta. I love Zenyatta and Bastion.
Yes.
Because that Zenyatta gets to pick someone and they just instantly die. That was a really good ice wall.
Ice wall, yep, trying to get him off. So it got him up, just didn't expose him long enough, so they're able to reset this.
Well, I think a mistake there by Glenwood. I think a little bit of a mistake by Glenwood isn't the DPS. When he was popped up like that, he didn't have any shielding. You really want to be able to kind of capitalize on that.
That's a go sign. If you're going to take out a basket when you get him up in the air, that's the time to do it. Did it again.
He's going to get back down again.
Yep. You got to be on that. All right. They decided to go in on a brawl defense. Ghost does take out Pyro. Cobalt trying to freeze her on the backside. Slam comes in. Victus goes down. Zynex carries him to the wall.
Coalescence does come out.
Tank moves.
Blizzard comes down. That was a good Blizzard.
Broken tank.
I wish it would have come a little bit earlier, and I'm sure Cobalt would have too. But it was good to make sure that in tank mode he didn't destroy the rest of the team there.
So here's that hold on point A. So we see, all right, because they have no hit scan, Bubba's going to take this guys. This is something they've done very often, and they're going to have time to answer. They're going to have to figure a way to deal with that.
But as soon as he switches to the Pharah, we see Ghost come back out on the sniper there.
He's there now. So he's going to play to that backside D. So right now they tend to play close for Pharah. Trying to find that one juicy pick again. All the time that ticks down is good for them.
Would you see Spartan go down? It's not great for a Brigitte to be out by herself like that. She really is so much stronger with the team. Zenyatta comes out, or not Zenyatta, Zariel comes out.
So 30 seconds left to go. I think they're going to go for a full reset here to get out in time. Yep. So full reset. One last go. They got one last push Springfield does. So they were able to answer that with Ghost. Let's see. It seemed to counter it, not so much that he was taken out from him, but that it was countering the effectiveness of it.
Well, I think the supports had to change the way they played, and it put them in a more dangerous situation. Blizzard comes out on the cart.
Not looking good for Springfield. I think it's just spell doom from them there. They're going to get the res off, but goes down for it. Zynex waves his hammer goodbye. Yeah.
Just for good measure.
Just for good measure. In case you weren't already down.
I want to point out something that Glenwood did there. As they turned that last corner and Springfield was still running Pirate Chip, what they did was they surrounded the cart. Bastion obviously is great in a very linear fashion, shooting directly in front of him, line of sight, going from target to target. As soon as you start getting around him, it becomes more difficult, and that's what slowed down that push. So that was very well done by them. Love to see the sports get played a game here.
Yeah, absolutely. They deserve more of that. See who gets the votes. These teams love to just vote for one player and boost it out. Hanamura, look at that. Before I can even say what assault they want, they're already good. All right, so Glenwood defense or offense. Which we may have to do a switch. We had to do this multiple times in the last matchup. Make Coach Kennedy very happy. By that I mean very unhappy, because he had to keep switching it on the stream. So, as expected, we are going to have to move a switch. So we're going to swap everybody. I'll have to change the team names, but that's all right. All right, Glenwood, and this is Springfield. So we are going to have to remember that they have switched colors. And I got to switch as well to Spectate Blue. There we go, and now we take our maps to Hanamura. I guarantee you, I would bet my mortgage that someone is coming out with a Symmetra portal at some point. The reason I mention this is both teams like to use it on and off for things. In the semifinal game of Naperville North versus Glenwood, this was our third map, so it was the last map, and Naperville North had one last trick up their sleeve for point B, and it was if you have a chance to go back and catch that stream, it was very entertaining because the casters were like, no, they're not. It was very interesting. The pillars that are inside the room near the control on point B of Hanamura, they managed to portal from the walkway that is normally the tunnel that leads in. They portaled from there onto one of those due to the angling, and totally unexpected. It was like all of a sudden we're on point. So.
That is pretty cheeky. I think though,
it was cheesy. I admit that, but these teams, like I said, they're both used to using something like that to where they're going to look for angles and things like that. So look for some fun play. I'm hoping for that. Pandemonium says ready for Glenwood. We'll wait for Springfield's R here, and Lego says ready, and we're off to go.
I think though that's kind of what you see, that difference in preparation between teams when you can find, those. That's spending time in the practice tool, right? Where like,
yep.
Like, oh, did you know there was this interaction, or that the Symmetra's teleporter could go here? You look at that at any sort of esports on any level, what sets different teams, different players apart is knowing the game on an intimate level like that. So, no, I applaud that. Those are the things that make esports fun, because it's not.
Yep. So there's Pyro already on the Symmetra, and we are gonna have Bubba taking to the skies. So we've seen this on point A. I don't know if they'll keep it in point B. Nope, they're gonna switch off.
Yeah, I think that's
interesting
smart.
choice but to Widow though, that's interesting when you're gonna use a symmetrical. I would think you'd use a little more close combat. Bubba, nope, they're gonna totally swap it out.
I was gonna try and give them the spin zone that like you want the Widow to, negotiate different angles, kind of like when they were running the double, but they got off it before.
When you go dive on Symmetric, you give up a lot when you take out an DPS. Oh, they're gonna go back to it. All right, we're gonna go back to the skies. Nope, stop it, Glenwood. I don't know what you're doing. All right, now you gotta show me, because now I gotta see what it's all about.
I think what Springfield wants to do is get the tanks in the back line, because it's going to take them longer to die, and that will give Bubba some time.
Okay, they're going up top. Yep. So, up to the rooftop. Seen that before. So that got them all over the point. I don't know if you saw that in time. They went to the upper left corner with that portal.
This actually becomes easier for...
Oh, big takeout here.
I was about to say, this actually makes it easier for the Pharah to get damage down, but she really wasn't pumping any damage in there, so those tanks kind of fell over.
Now you can mitigate a lot with that bell. It's actually a really decent shield if you work the angles and the backside walls. So if your defense, regardless of symmetric portals, if your defense can get set up on the angles that are coming in, the point of surprise that you want to use the portal for is to get a quick tick, not for positioning. If you use it for positioning and it takes too long, you've thrown away the entire advantage of having this special portal. So they do switch off of it. They're going to play the poke game. Oh, almost handled with the ice wall.
I think the problem now for Springfield, though, is that you've wasted time in ult charge after these switches. Coalescence comes out. That was an interesting earth
I think this doesn't get anybody with that one. But does get Zynex on the fire strike. Rat takes Bub out, last them down. It's a full out team romp here. Springfield saying, you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. Glenwood saying, you know what? I was gonna say Glenwood saying, you know what? we're gonna exert our will on this defense here. So Ghost might want to focus in on him. He's gonna have a if he gets done in time before this starts. All right, he's done. We'll see where his ultimate decides to come out, once he forces it in or not.
You'd like to see that ice wall try and pin someone in.
Yep, you want to try to cut your team in half. You gotta wait a little bit longer. Generally, just take out Pyro. Here comes a whole lot of ultimates being used. Unfortunately for Springfield, no eliminations, but they will have the edge, I think, coming in 4 to 3 as far as ultimates can get his built up time.
Yeah, I actually think I don't want to be too hard on Cobalt here, but I think the wall was a bit off, and then that Blizzard really was a little too close to them. I know he didn't want them to push all the way through the door, but really he only got the Reinhardt there with that Blizzard. That's a good wall. That one was a good wall, though.
That was better. So here comes the tire on the backside. It's telegraphed, though. He's trying to go too fast. A wasted ult there. You gotta stall that tire out a little bit more, come from an angle that didn't be smooth.
That goes forward.
Couple of points, couple going down. Victus tries to get through. Jay drops. And it looks like, I think, Springfield has finally broken the defense.
Yeah, I think
that was, take point A.
Yeah, I think that was something where Invictus was like super aggressive, and he pushed forward, and the rest of the team had started to fall back. So he split off. So Springfield took care of the rest of Glenwood, and then went back for Invictus at the end.
Yes.
Defense point. Objective B.
So we do have point A taken, with 3 minutes left to go on the clock for Springfield. As they look to push, looks like they're going to go for the tunnel. Yeah. Let's see if they do it, if they copy us. And... nope, not yet. Yep, she's looking for it. Yep, there it is. It's the exact same move they just stole. Ah, you guys liked it too much when we used it. So somebody watched the video. Oh, but that's a good freeze. Everybody gets off point. Gotta get fixed from this, though. Zynex does go down. Moth drops, Pyro goes. So as awesome as it was, it's gotta reach. When you hop on point, it's not about getting that tick, it's about getting fixed. And they just didn't get anything in results. And I think the defense will hold.
I think the danger as well is that Glenwood was holding the top deck up here, where Zarya is. And so when they all teleported onto that one pole, it was pretty easy for Glenwood to just drop down on top of them, and then, again, the Blizzard comes out. If the Blizzard doesn't come out, they actually probably...
Yeah, I agree. If the Blizzard's not there, I think that's a totally different fight. Good on them to have that early tire. See if he sells it in. It just goes. That's the second one. I'm not sure on those tire locations.
Yeah, it's straight up the gut. It's pretty easy to kill those tires if you kind of see them coming. Here comes again.
There comes Ghost. He's just gonna put it down on the backside. That is a long. Invictus took it for like the longest ride ever.
It does run out the rest of his ultimate, but unfortunately, he was on the attack, not on the defense, so it didn't really matter.
So the interesting point of this is Cobalt's got to get his stuff built back up. Otherwise, you're going to see Springfield come in here with the edge on ultimates, and that could definitely tilt the tide. Now, however, it really is going to rest on Zynex slam. Everything else is support. You know, Moths is nice to have. Lego's got to put his drums in the right place, but Zynex quick to point. All right, well, he's in point. So we're going to set up. Here comes the good bongo drop. Lego takes that one for one. Victim goes down.
Cobalt's at 94%. Too close.
They did get a tick in the meantime. And they're going to get two, almost.
They actually stun locked Cobalt out as soon as they got the Blizzard ultimate up. Stun locked him out.
The problem is with limited time here, they really don't have time for a reset. They got to make it work. Zynex trying to stay alive.
Well, it's another really long walk back now if you're the attackers. And me about
So
it.
look how close that is to the second tick from point B. Right on the edge of that. You couldn't get it to go over. I don't know if they're going to get back anybody inside. And it's in there. So we get one tick, point A taken, and one tick into point B for Springfield. They're going to need to mount a really good defense. So let's see what they have in store here.
I think this point A on Hanamura is one of those ones where it's feast or famine, kind of like that point A for Junkertown, is that it feels like you either have it or you have to grind out the almost your entire time bank, and that's what we saw here for Springfield.
And that's the thing, Springfield, they tried to get a quick one with that first portal. It didn't work, and like you said, it took a minute and a half off. You fed ultimates on the other side, and it drags that out for even longer until you can finally break through that defense. So they're going to have to mount a really good defense. They're going to come out with a May of their own and just look to try to win the shield battle between the two teams. Ghost going to go Doom. All right, trying to get some backside pressure.
I think this will be good if Ghost can kind of create that space. There's a lot of terrain that you can use in the door, like you said, around the bell. So Doom can really be a nuisance here, at least on this first point. Second point, you can kind of navigate around him, but
yeah. Well, the biggest thing is they got to get through that first doorway. If they can get through the first doorway and Doom can survive the backside, if they get pressure inside the fortress area, then Doom gains more value. But if he gets, if the team can't get past the door, and that'll be the big thing. Then I think Springfield's going to have to try to stop them from doing it. You can't let them through the front door because that'll just create all sorts of problems. As we get ready to engage here, they set up real close. Again, front corner. A lot of time to see these guys play back corners, but nope, I'm going to drop back.
I also think too that a lot of this is about commitment on this door here on Hanamura. So many teams will stand here at the door, telling themselves, "Oh, we're charging ult, we're doing this, we're doing that." In reality, if you push through the door, nice wall there by the May.
Yeah, you're trying exactly what you're trying to do there, but you got to make it work. I think they're going to be able to join up as a team again. Yep. So one of those half second earlier, you get one instead of three, and when the support gets through, that makes it rough.
I even think though, like if you walled off 3 there, that your full 6 should command. I think Springfield was close enough together that they could have done it. Oh, here's the Doom pick here.
Yep. Like I said, once he gets to the door, makes it worthwhile. It does go down though.
But he killed the Mercy there, and it's allowed Glenwood to really push in. I expect Glenwood to take this here. Block the Earth Shatter. Nano comes out onto Zion. Or not onto Zion and Victor. See, now I got them all flipped in my head.
All right, yeah. Doesn't take much, trust me.
Yeah.
All right, we see them tick away, so we'll have about, I'm thinking about just under 518, so that's 518. All right, they got to hold for a tick and almost 2 for 5 minutes.
And see, the dangerous thing here, especially, and Glenwood has the benefit for going second here, is you can just all in for a tick here, right? You do that a couple of times, you can get your 2 ticks. Where Springfield before had to play a little bit more conservatively. We see them on the point, doing just that. High Noon up top.
Ends up not getting anything. They neutralized earlier. They're going to tick first tick already.
They're going to get both ticks here.
And there it goes. Second map very, very quickly goes the way of Glenwood. I anticipated. I was thinking more of the line of Junkertown, where we would see like the back and forth. Hanamura is known if teams take them both or whatever, that it goes on a little bit longer. So
I think as soon as Springfield tried that roof strategy and then switched off those heroes, they really put themselves in a pretty sticky situation.
Yeah, behind the 8 ball on the time for sure.
Yeah. Where then you saw Glenwood play the time game there. Let's just full commit to this point and make them respond to us, and Springfield couldn't keep up under it. So good job to Glenwood there.
Yeah, I mean, well played. You're thinking long term. You're not. You win or lose the battle, but win the war. So. All right. Well, our next one should be, I believe, it's a hybrid map is our next. Yep, map 3 is hybrid. So, hybrid choice. Springfield. I'm hoping that they're going to stay where they are. But last time this happened in the last game, then the other team's like, well, we'll be on attack first. Then I had to switch it again. All right, we're good. Invictus says defense. So
Perfect.
We are not moving the teams again.
Perfect.
And you don't need to change any of the scores. Hopefully you've got Glenwood 2, Springfield 0. Just wait to see what Springfield wants. We'll give them a minute. There's no rush. So yeah, just to kind of update you guys in case you were missed our 5 o'clock stream. We are this is our third place game, but we are having a grand final Saturday for the IHSEA. All of our spring invitationals, again, because we couldn't run end of our regular seasons or our postseasons due to COVID and the school closings and stuff, where some teams weren't able to participate. Those that could, we ended up forming a spring invitational for all of our esports. So it all culminates this Saturday, 12 o'clock. You can tune in. Will be our League of Legends stream. I believe it's Barrington, and I'm going to get this right, Barrington versus Jones. And that starts at noon. It's a best of 5 for League of Legends. Providing that ends in time, if they don't, we'll just push back a little bit, but we'll go either at 4 o'clock or when it ends will be the Overwatch Championship for the Spring Invitational, which will be Naperville North versus Naperville Central. And then at 8 p.m., again, providing Overwatch finishes in time, 8 p.m. we'll bring on the Fortnite Grand Finals, which is a duo from Salem versus a duo from Springfield. So all three, whatever kind of esports you like, whether you like the MOBA, you like the first person, you want to watch the Fortnite, come and join us. We got something for everybody, so make sure you guys tune in on Saturday starting at noon. So don't miss it.
Sounds good. That's exciting. I like all the events there in one day. That'll be exciting. A nice way to end the season.
Yeah, when you're doing it all online, it's much more doable than, say, like on location LAN finals. LAN finals, we had to work out different locations, and that was a shame that we were starting to get that ball rolling and really trying to figure it out for each sports. You're going to have a really good LAN experience, and unfortunately that couldn't happen. But the next best thing we're going to try to do is wrap it all up in one day. Nice boat, get it done in May. Give you guys some breaks, because I know a lot of teams, a lot of practices, stuff like that. So Hollywood is our map of choice.
I was actually going to say, while you're sitting there and I'm looking at Springfield and how they've played, Glenwood I think has the better pure snipers. So I was thinking they definitely wanted to stay away from something like Kings Row and even like Numbani. And I'm glad I actually thought Blizzard World would have been better for them.
I don't believe in any of the matches I've done that Blizzard World has been chosen. I wouldn't have minded because I enjoy watching it, but okay. Let's see, Caster's ready. Teams ready.
See, I think if you can get DPS players who can play more of those utility DPS or the DPS to really get on the back line, I think Blizzard World does a great job of slotting that.
Doom, Tracer, any of those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bathroom break. All right. That's a good reason for a break. There's no rush to that. Yeah,
I suppose.
But it's like I said, we've seen a lot of Kings Row. Hanamura seems to be like the one that everybody likes to do for those assault maps. I like Anubis a little bit more, but that's just me personally. But Hanamura has some fun little tricks to it. So it was fun to watch. Hollywood. All right, so Pandemonium says RAR. Lego says RAR, so making sure I got one on each side. I do, and off we go. So this is map number 3, Springfield. Come on, guys. I wanted this to go for more than 3 maps.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here that Springfield needs to do to push this to a 4th map to keep this thing going is you have to be a little bit more organized. When things kind of devolve, I feel like Glenwood tends to have a little bit of an edge. Their DPS tends to get the picks first. So a little bit more organization, thought out plans. I like that teleport play that they stole from you guys. Like you said, if Glenwood didn't have the blizzard on that second point for Hanamura, I think they win that one. I think Glenwood is a little bit more responsive, so have something structured going into it. I think would be better for them.
So Rat's still taking some time here to. There he goes. Now he's got his choice. He can get off there pretty fast with the rest, so that's all right. So one of those things that we talked about earlier that Glenwood was doing good is time management, right? So win or lose a point, but they were either burning time when they needed to, or they took points quickly when they needed to. So that's really, I think, honestly, where this score difference has come in. Like you said, they're all individual things, but just time management in general has definitely gone the way of Glenwood. So we'll see how fast Springfield decides to push this in, if they just go or try to get in a position. They are moving up to that front corner really quick.
I like this a lot better from Springfield. A little bit more. They're dictating the pace, like you're saying, with the time management. I think that's good, especially on attack. If you're going to need to try over and over and over again, you get picked. You need to make it worth your while. Spartan actually takes down Pyrocat there.
That's very good. All right, so we get the res come in. We're still full 6-6. It's Ghost and Bubba. It's the battle of the Genji's up top. There's
Legends comes out now.
That's right. Don't cross the streams, people. Might inadvertently end the universe. They never listen to me. There's the slam. Does get some good results, but the might save. Invictus comes in because, that was the problem when they bailed out. But
good Blizzard on the point.
Ooh, Bubba cleaning house. His is definitely the better of the blades that comes through.
Yeah, I feel bad for Ghost because Ghost actually had a good kind of line on that team fight, but the rest of his team was dead. Where Bubba still had 5 people in front of him to kind of take.
They are going to contest. Yep, they get the quick diva contest. So again, this is that long game that we're talking about. They probably won't win this, right?
No.
But that's not the goal. The goal is to just stretch this out as long as they can. Now, there's a little bit of feed there, so not too bad, but, that took another 30-some-odd seconds. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Ah, he's done. I was like, Ghost, camper, man.
You have been spotted.
You have been.
Well, and the bad thing about him getting caught right there is now his respawn walk back is a lot further. Well, he is on Genji, but
still,
you'd rather be here in the fray right now, getting some damage down. Because if you look at it, Bubba's now at 76%.
It's real interesting, and Invictus is really far forward. Not used to seeing the defense take this place so far up. That hammer gets nothing.
I feel like these Earth Shatters here have been really hit or miss.
Yeah, really good or really not good. Wow, 4-person anti. That's going to get something. Yep.
That was
go down from that one.
That was a really good job.
Nice job, Spurt. See, that's how you can play the game.
All right, we see the Winston and Reinhardt again.
Yep. It's an interesting combo. I mean, hey, I don't knock it if it works, but you just got to stop it, so we'll see.
All right, so we have Springfield coming back out. Alt Economy tied for the moment, though. You see Ghost almost at 100. And
if Xionox can get a good hold, you're going to see Bubba pop his blade and just dash everybody and just rack up the damage.
Good wall.
And here it comes. Pyrocat taken out.
Well, I think the problem there was that Cobalt actually got the Blizzard on the back side and froze all of the healers that would normally keep Bubba up. So that was actually, at first I was a little critical of it, that the Blizzard was so far back, but it's actually in the perfect position. So hats off to Cobalt there.
Yeah, I thought that was a good shot for them to break through. But yeah, it was telegraphed. I mean, they knew it was coming. All right, here we go on second engage. Where Pilot Dragon's going to try to get the split. They do. 2 on the left. If they can take advantage of that, take out trying to go. Big slam, 5-person. Oh, there. Goodbye, team.
That was a great. And why Invictus was able to get that Earth Shatter was actually because of the Winston ult knocking them all into the wall. So they were more worried about the Primal Rage from Winston, and then just lined up.
As soon as Lego got rejected from his post, that was all there was to it. But quick re-engage here, 2 minutes left to go.
Springfield does have 3 ults now online.
They do.
No
They're
DPS
pop one
ults
now. Big anti again. Can they keep Lego up? Ghost is gonna take out Pyro and Flash. And Zynex. And Lego.
That's gonna be another
Okay.
team fight lost. Yeah, that's tough.
Let's see if they
Springfield,
stagger this. Nope.
Springfield actually walked into that with a better ult economy into that fight, but because again of the ante onto Lego,
Yeah, Spartan has just been nailing that.
Lego had to instantly back up instead of continuing to push like you would normally with a better ult economy. And now Cobalt has Blizzard up again, so
Nothing there on the slam. Big Blizzard comes in. They split the defense. That's going to get Pyro and Zynex going to drop them. He's all separated. They're going to stall this out one more time. See if they decide to play. Yep. They're going to try to. You got to be careful not to overextend here, though.
yeah, could get Cloud9. Though I guess Spartan's still on point. I'm curious why the Winston used his ultimate there. You had pretty much broken the offense there.
Agreed.
Did you still have 40 seconds? I mean, you could reasonably get a team fight win and get a decent push, but Invictus does have his Earth Shatter here, so things get crazy.
You got an Earth Shatter Zynex. You got to hit one of those hooks. Juicy target. Here goes the blade. And they
Welcome to
survive it.
Thunderdome.
Nope. Oh, man. Just a matter of time before that happened. 12 seconds. Can Springfield break this Glenwood defense? Oh, quick death there. Do they get there? They do not.
I think the interesting thing that kind of goes probably without noticing most of the time is that Cobalt is actually using the wall to push the tanks forward and isolate the supports and DPS behind, so there's usually not as much CC to deal with Ghost on that Genji in the back line. So that's pretty clever. They're working really well together, whether it's on the double sniper or more of this utility kind of assassin role they're doing.
I agree. Yeah, Glenwood is playing. I mean, their play tonight versus in the semifinal. I think I don't know if it was just they were off or something else, but this is a step up from what I was used to seeing last week. So, all right, we're gonna come out here. So point A, you gotta have defense on point A. Can't do that, then you gotta hold really, really, really close on point B. So I think giving up point A is probably going to be well, about I want to say a little bit. I'd say not that it's around corner number 1 for point B. So there'll still be time to get there to give up point A.
Yeah, I think if you get staggered hard enough, I think it's going to be, though, like you were saying, in Springfield's best interest to find the best static defense that you can make for point B.
I agree. So they're going to take a little page out of their book, and Ghost is going to take the skies.
Which
Bubba
actually
won't be
looking
able to
at
do anything there.
Yeah.
The only thing that they can do against that is Pyro. And that is not what you want for anti-fire. So this could be a problem. Could be a very quick point A. Oh, Cobalt does go down. So they're going to have to maybe wait this out. I get quick res. That's now burned, so...
Yeah, when the Genji goes in, or kind of makes himself seen, you want the Pharah raining down rockets, allows the Genji to be able to kind of reposition or dive in and not be focused down right away like we saw right there.
Pyro does manage to do it. Oh, first you that me. Alright, I do believe we see hold here for right now. Oh, okay, that's Monkey, you're gonna go the other way. Come with me.
You wanted to reset, I'm gonna make you reset the long way.
Reset harder, that's right. Hard reset. They do make a switch, so they're gonna switch over to off now.
I do think that's smarter. You really have a very mobile team on the other side. So this should be better.
Lego with that fire strike on point again. Oh, it takes out his counterpart. So they're going to fall back one more time once he's decided to push this out a little bit. Oh, I don't. Save that. Save that. Lego, you're going to wish you had that one. I hope that wasn't bad finger.
Because right now you've got...
Oh, you would have had all 6 online next fight.
Yeah, you will have 5. That's the positive. The negative is that with Zion, like with the Zarya Reinhardt ult, you don't have to use any other ult. That should win you the fight.
Ghost takes the Zynex. That's a huge takedown.
Tire's gonna come up from above. It actually goes down.
Big pick by Ghost to get that tire.
They're gonna drop down. That's a good pin.
Overwatch does take out Spartan.
Glenwood is kind of split. Yeah.
I think, well, I think that they've actually got a shot of holding on. They won. Yep, that's a big pick by Glaz.
I think the problem
trades again. So trades actually work out much better for the attackers because they're fun in the long run.
Well, and I think to add on top of that is that, and it's kind of been the thing plaguing Springfield the entire time, is when they go to absorb the pressure, they're not focusing targets. Where Glenwood seems a little bit more on the same page on focusing specific targets.
Now, what I will say is that regardless of that, this has been a good defense amount of time. Granted, it was a lot of, they don't have to go far for B, but we're at a minute, maybe under a minute by the time they take it. Good anti there. That's going to hurt Pyro. He's going to drop. But Bubba's still on point. Everybody's coming back. This is a full-out stall now. Now there goes Pandemonium just leading him off point. Get off my point. Oh, Lucio's just going to call it also.
There we go.
All right, with 38 seconds. Let's see where... All right, so 3 minutes now. First corner defense. But if you're going to give up A, that's exactly what you want to do, is give it up with very little time left. So they did stall that for a good point, but they have to have an equally good defense now on first corner, point B. Otherwise, this will go... Third place game will go the way of Glenwood. So, not playing favorites. I just want to see more Overwatch, so I'm hoping for a good defense.
I will say Springfield's got some really good ultimates with the Coalescence.
Alright, here comes that tire. See if that does anything. Cobalt coming around the backside. He does find 1, 2. This is not looking good for Springfield. This tire has to be equally good.
I think it's
oh
actually
my
better.
goodness, that is better.
Get into position.
And are they going to try to keep going? Let's see here. Yep, they're going to keep pushing, but I don't think it's going to do anything. Dragon comes in for some reason. Okay.
I wonder if he's going to switch off.
I think.
Oh, he stays on it.
He stays on it. Well, they're all back now, but
great.
Couple more takeouts. That's a great shatter. That could do it. Now we're back into stall mode again.
Yeah, this should be it.
And so close.
Yep.
I really thought Springfield had a chance to defend that. Glenwood.
I think that
So there was a tweet earlier that was talking about XQC. That somebody said, how much did you pay him for that boost? So congratulations, Glenwood, on your third place finish in the IHSEA Invitational. See Invictus here with a good shatter.
Well done. This was a really good match. It was a 3-0, but I think, especially the first and the last map, I think we're far closer than what a 3-0 looks like.
I agree. Yes, it was enjoyable. So we thank all you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure you guys check us in for Saturday. Again, starting at noon, League of Legends, 4 o'clock Overwatch, and 8 o'clock Fortnite. For now, this is Coach Turp from Deep from North signing off, and thank you, Coach Can, for joining me. It was a pleasure to hear your voice on the airwaves one more time. Don't be a stranger.
It was a blast. I appreciate you guys having me on. I do miss casting. This is one of those things. While I have a little bit more free time with the little one now, I do miss casting a lot.
Well, see what I got in the coffers for Saturday. Maybe I can bribe your butt to get back on here. We'll see what happens.
All right, we'll see.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Have a good night.